Peace. Yo, welcome back to Keeyzo's Corner. I got my man in here today. We go back over 2 decades, you know what I'm saying, to the beginning of his career when he first started producing. Now look at his background. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give him the introduction that he deservingly deserves. You know what I'm saying? My man, first of all, let me slow down. The person that I have in the building, like I said, he's a longtime homie of mine. My man Antoine Amadeus Thompson,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
This man single-handedly. You know what? Let me just read the list that I got right now. He's produced over 100 major artists. He was Trey Songz, or maybe still is Trey Songz' music director. He has a
Absolutely.
residency at Dre's nightclub. He's on the Bronx Walk of Fame. The author. He is a doctor. He's received the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. Like I said, he worked with us in the beginning of his career when we had our label. We didn't know what the hell we were doing. He came in and really laid it out for us. Born in the Bronx,
Yes, sir. Big Bronx energy.
born and raised, born and raised in the Bronx. He even did some stuff with Monday Night Football, y'all. ESPN.
Yes, sir.
These are major brands, right? Local boy from the Bronx.
Yes, sir.
All God-given talent, and he started out as a drummer. Now I could go on and on and on and on because there's so much more. But welcome to Keeyzo's Corner, my brother Amadeus, man. What's going on?
Man, thank you, man. First of all, the introduction was legendary. And you know me, for, like I said, we've known each other for 2 decades, man. Real youngin'. So one, to be able to sit here today in front of you is iconic. It means a lot to me. You definitely being one of my heroes, and Fubu being one of the greatest brands of all time, especially in hip hop culture and just in the worldwide in general. So I remember as a kid, looking at LL and on Video Music Box, Rock, Fubu, and seeing, four Black kings come together as brothers
Right.
and build a global brand. So to be here, man, I'm honored. I'm humble. Great to be able to call you a big brother. Like you said, you gave me a shot at the beginning of my career when, I didn't really have no name. Nobody really knew who I was, and y'all didn't care about that. You know what I mean? You heard the music that I was creating and the music that I was producing, and you gave me a shot. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to 54 Platoon. We had a
Show
real
5-4.
dope record, bro. So thank you, man.
Yeah.
Honored to be here.
You know what? You said something really important. You said that we gave you a shot when you really didn't have a name. And people always ask us how are we successful in this business, and I always tell them it's like you have to identify talent early on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you go to somebody who is just building a brand and they're looking up to you and they're like, wow, Fubu's fucking with me.
Right.
Let me go ahead and do something with them because I look up to them. Most people don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they don't
Right.
realize how that is a big part of forming relationships. Because if you catch somebody here and they're on the come up and they're like, yo, Fubu came and messed with me and that was big, and they're able to take Fubu, little things like just being able to take Fubu and put it on your discography or on your resume or you know what I mean? Shit like that.
Yes, sir.
Whereas when you catch them when they platinum, when they Platinum Boy Amadeus, it's a little different. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's like, and it's just normal energy because when you ain't doing something, when you ain't popping like that and
Mm-hmm.
people are messing with you, then you respect them a little bit more. But
Absolutely.
once you get to that level and you really doing your thing, then people are like, what is he around for? Oh, now he won't fuck with me, or or they, people. Everybody handles power differently. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely,
So,
I agree. I agree.
it's like that was a big thing of ours, just identifying talent early on,
Hmm.
and working with those people, and that's how we were able to form relationships with Bus and Bun B
Yeah,
and
man.
all of these people, Slim Thug and all these
Yeah,
guys, because they was on the come up, and we were still rocking with them when it wasn't major names in our area. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely,
But
absolutely, absolutely. Forever
but
grateful to that, man. I'm grateful that that was the thought process that you Kings had to do that. Because, like you said, it's easier to rock with somebody when they're on, when everybody knows their name, when they're popular. It's like, okay, he's hot right now. Let's just go get him. But when you hear, talent before it's developed, and before you really pop off, it's a blessing, and it's a blessing. So it ain't
yeah,
nothing that I wouldn't do for you guys when you guys call. It's like, what do you need? Like, it's like it's just a certain level of respect and appreciation that you have forever.
yeah, and like I said, that was a big part of us building relationships with a lot of the artists, and um, it allowed us to be able to get in some of those doors and
Hmm.
have some of those opportunities because of it. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Um, I know it's the end of the year. We've been trying to do this for a minute. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
man.
I had a couple of hiccups I was going through business wise trying to figure some shit out, but I'm glad I got you, man, for the end of the
Yes,
year,
sir.
because this is gonna be my last interview for the year too. So
Nice.
I know
Same,
this is
same.
yours. This
Yeah.
is this is mine too. So
Fire,
um
fire.
pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you, King.
Um Tell us, man, I know a little bit about you, man,
Right.
but tell the people some of the artists you may have produced for or work with, or even how you got your start in this business. Because I know you staring at that corner on 169th. You know what I'm saying? And like,
Yeah, bro.
and we all know about those corners. Because I listen, I'm working on a book right now, right? And I
Okay.
talk about my humble beginnings. And
Hmm.
my humble beginnings was way different from Fubu life. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
sir. Yes,
And
sir.
I happened to go down that road and crash out. You know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
at 17, I literally crashed out, right? But I was literally able to turn my life around and get focused at 17, which is super hard because you're still a teenager, your mind is
Hmm.
not really developed yet.
Yeah.
But I had the wherewithal to say, you know what I mean? I'm not hanging with these guys no more. I'm
Hmm.
not doing this no more. I'm trying to establish myself over here. Like, but talk about some of your early beginnings, man, so you can let the people know where you come from.
Right. Yeah, I agree. For me, I grew up in a really, really tough neighborhood, as you mentioned, 169th Washington Avenue. They used to call my block the Nine in regards to, guns and violence and just all that, went on over there. And, shout out
Hmm.
to my parents. They I would say had the kung fu grip on me, man. Like they ain't let me do nothing, bro. Like it was school, it was church, and that's really it. Like they believed in us being in activities. So I did karate. I was a part of the Cub Scouts and the Boy Scouts. Like, obviously I was a musician, so they allowed me to, play music and play in church. So that was really it. Like, so if it was on some your mama
Hmm.
outside, it was like, I don't know about that. Like when I used to ask to go to the store, like she would sit at the window, watch me go to the corner store and time me, because she feared, you know, I can go out there one day and not come back home. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
it was that type of environment. So for me, it was the music that saved me. You know what I'm saying? And I saw what I saw, but I wasn't a part of the streets because they didn't allow me to be a part of the streets. You know what I'm saying? They protected
Right.
me and my siblings and prevented me from being in the streets. You know what I mean? They put that fear in my heart, like, nah, you ain't gonna be nothing you see out there. You gonna do something with your life, and we're gonna see to it because we're gonna keep making sure that you're busy, you're occupied.
Hmm.
You ain't just doing a bunch of nothing, allowing yourself to get into trouble. So that's kind of what it was on the come up for me, sitting, like I said earlier, watching Video Music Box each and every single day after school, wanting and hoping and dreaming that one day. And I didn't even know I was going to be producing. Like for me, I wanted to be an artist at first. So wondering,
Right.
hoping to wanting to be on the big screen and shoot
Hmm.
music videos and being famous and making millions of dollars and mansions and cars. You know, every kid's dream that watches television at some point. So that's what it was. So
Hmm.
for me, it saved my life. And I didn't have an issue focusing on it because it was, to me, it was my only outlet. And it was the only way I
Right.
would get out the house. It was like, okay, you're going to church to play? All right, cool. You're going to school to play? So that was what it was for me. And I kind of peeped my environment, saw what I saw,
Hmm.
and I didn't like it, honestly. I didn't like it. I didn't want to be a statistic. I didn't want to be what everybody else was or what other people were doing. It's like, okay, I got this music. This is what I got. I love it. I'm passionate about it. This is the dreams that I have. I'm not going to stop until these dreams that's in my heart, in my head, is reality,
Hmm.
is real life. So thankfully, I never had a struggle in regards to focusing and staying on the right path. I was just one of those kids where at a young age the eye was on the prize. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
Right.
it's not different from my, from my friends and colleagues. You know, everybody was kind of on whatever time they was on, but I was one kid that was just like, nah, bro, I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna really do this, but I understand the time and dedication needed to do this, and I'm gonna lock in. You know what I'm saying? And I'm grateful that I had that thought process.
Right. Right. Nah, that's good, man. Parents have that intuition, man.
Mm-hmm.
They know. I tell people all the time, my mom's had the voice of hell from hell. I could be 20 blocks away and she'll be, hey, and I'll be like, did,
Right.
did y'all hear that?
Right.
Did they be like, hear what? I'm like, I think that was my mama calling me. And then she would say it again, and I'm like, and then I would really hear it, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
and I'll take my behind home. But for
Exactly.
me, I know for me, um, not that I was a terror or anything like that. I was just getting into shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Being with
Yeah.
the guys and running with the wrong crew and the wrong
Yeah.
people, getting into a lot of stuff that I shouldn't have been getting into. And like I said, for me, I had to make a decision, and I made, like I said, the most conscious decision I could have made, because that was my whole life turnaround from there. You know what I'm saying? Um, I didn't
Yeah.
understand. Yeah, I didn't understand at the time that it was going to take me to a place where I would meet the fellas and I would start doing all. I actually had already known them, but I didn't know if we was going to take the road with the clothing. I didn't know none of that. None of that
Right.
was present yet.
Right.
But when it happened, it happened. And
Right. Crazy.
growing up in New York is crazy anyway. I don't care if you're from Brooklyn, Queens,
Yeah, bro.
Bronx,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Staten Island,
Tough.
like everywhere is
Tough.
crazy.
It's tough, man.
So, um, how is it like just, because I ain't gonna lie. I I look at you online and I see you and I'm like, damn, what's this boy doing? He doing a lot of work. And I used to walk past the music class, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was one of those badass kids around the way. He played big tuba. He act like he playing little violin, and they in the choir, they singing and whatnot. And I used to just, and I don't know why, because my mother had me in piano since I was like 6, but
Wow.
the piano class was too expensive
Yep.
for her to keep up.
Yep.
Especially from like 6 to 8. When my pops left at 8, I got out of the class, but my grandmother had a piano, so I used to, play on there,
Uh-huh.
but I was never like that good.
Got you.
And I always say, damn, if I would have just took it
Mm-hmm.
more seriously, or, now that I see the opportunities, I got a cousin who's like, I don't care what church he going to, right?
Right, right.
We could be at a funeral, we could be at church, whatever it did, we could be in a club, wherever there's a piano at, he will walk in and literally play. I mean, everywhere. And you'd be like, how did David get on the piano over there? Like, but he's so talented and so good. But when I see you, I'd be like, man, I wish I would have continued that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I even love, I appreciate the the artistry. You know, a lot
Right.
of people don't appreciate like, you know, when Prince and he was playing all live instruments and you could just
Yeah.
hear the difference from the older artists to the new artists when they started with the drum machines and the beat machines when, you know, when you heard the record come on and it has that,
Uh-huh.
you know,
Yep.
and then it
Yep.
gets into the
Yep.
beat. Like it's just so much that, you know, you have with live music that I didn't appreciate when I was younger. Now I have a totally different outlook on it. You know, I mean, well, I've been had a different outlook on it, but you know, it's really an art, and I appreciate what you guys do. But
Thank you, man.
you know, what when you going through when because I see you on the drums, I see
Right.
you, I just see you going off, I see you doing your thing, right? What does it feel like in that moment? You know, like you said, you grew up a kid where you was seeing what was going on, and your parents wouldn't let you in there, so you studied your craft.
Yeah.
And because I know for us, right, when we finally broke through, we were like, oh man, like,
Yeah.
so for you, you not only broke through, but you have been climbing and climbing. Like I'm seeing you on the news. I turn on the news, I'm like, oh, look at my guy. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Right.
and you really put a lot of work in the community. Why is it important for you to give back so much? Because I see you doing a lot of giving back, and I'm really into that as well. So,
Yeah.
you know, I could appreciate, you know, your contributions, you know, but what does it do for you, or what's the motive behind you giving back so much? Because you do give it back a lot.
Right. I think me being from where I'm from, that little kid from the hood, that little kid from the bottom, little kid from the Bronx, you know, from the projects, and just not
Hmm.
having access to things and to people, right? So as I sat there and
Hmm.
watched, you know, my favorite celebrities online, on not online, we didn't have online back then, but on TV on the big screen, like none of them came into my school. You know what I'm saying? None of them came and hollered at me and had a conversation and was accessible and was right there where I'm like, yo, there go, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, you would have to go to a concert to see him, or you have to, you know, see him in that light,
Hmm.
or you have to sit down on TV. So for me, I'm like, yo, I gotta change that. Like, I
Hmm.
need to go to them. I need to go to the kids. I need to go to the schools. I need to go to the community and push them and encourage them to chase and live their dreams as well. Like no one really did that for us. They wanted us to be good.
Hmm.
They wanted us to behave. They wanted us to go to school, you know, finish high school, go to college. That was like
Hmm.
the format that life presents you. But it's just like,
Hmm.
nah, what do you love? What do you want to do with your life? What do you want to be? What do you not? What do I have to be? What do I have to do? What do you want to do? What do you love? What are you passionate about? And it's a conversation that was never had for me as a youngin. So I'm like, we got to change the dynamic. Like I got to
Yeah.
go into these classrooms where they're learning math, reading, science, which is all amazing, which is all important and a part of life, right?
Hmm.
But hold on, pause. Who are you? What do you love to do? What do you want
Hmm.
to you dream about at night in regards to what you want to be? Is it an NFL player? Is it a doctor? Is it a lawyer? And then have that conversation with them. Like they light up, bro. Like I know it's Christmas.
Yeah.
They light up like Christmas trees when I go
Hmm.
into these schools and have this conversation. And again, it's not
Hmm.
a conversation that's happening. So they're like, finally, you know, I get to talk about,
Somebody speaking my language.
yeah, finally I get to talk about what I love. Finally I get to talk about what I dream about and not what my parents want for me or what they
Right.
want me to do or what they want me to be. So that's kind of the motive. You know, we from New York, we from the hood, so we know the challenges and the struggles
Hmm.
and the distractions that they face. So it's just like just kind of
Right.
getting going in there, giving them a little powwow. Listen, if I'm doing it, if you're doing it, you can do it too. You know what I'm saying? Ain't
Hmm.
no excuse of why you can't be great. Ain't no excuse why you can't be successful. Ain't no excuses of why you can't live your dreams. You know, Fubu is one of the biggest brands in the world. Like that was an idea, that was a thought that you guys had,
Hmm.
and you believe, and you went and made it happen. For me as a musician, as a producer, it's the same thing. So it's just going in there and having the conversation and encouraging them, you know, to chase and live their dreams and not to settle for anything in life.
Yeah. You said something big about um, you know, just looking at people that look like you come to your school and talk to you, and even when I go out and I speak to kids, I've always been focused around kids, right? Because I
Hmm.
feel like, yeah, I can have a conversation with an elder or older person and basically tell them how they run their business or the
Yeah.
ins and outs and all of that stuff. But when I pour into kids, it's a little different because I speak to kids who, are bad as fuck,
Right. Yeah.
or they just don't have any hope, or
Right.
they can't see anything because they haven't been anywhere.
Hmm.
Nobody's talking to them and telling them things like that. And I say, right now I'm even trying to pivot and I'm trying to do some more things educational wise. I'm trying to start teaching in
Hmm.
colleges and stuff like that.
Nice.
So what my thing about it is yeah, I want to be able to give back my experiences and and the things that I learned and things that I failed at and how did I pivot and how did I get focused and and all of these little jewels that I have. So I want to go back and really pour that into some of these kids. And I always tell this funny story about I went to school one time I'm trying to think of what school it was. I'd have been to so many, but
Got
I
you.
know I was in this school and this kid, he wasn't like he really wasn't participating,
Hmm.
but he was like, kind of standoffish. So towards the end, I was trying to get him involved and he just wasn't tapped in at all, right?
Right.
So I asked the teacher, I was like, what's wrong with that young man over there? And he's like, oh, he just doesn't participate in nothing. He doesn't.
Mhm.
So I said, let me go talk to him, right?
Right. Right.
So I went over to talk to him. And first thing I start telling him, about certain things, he was like, man, that's your life. I don't see that, that don't happen in my neighborhood, blah, 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 blah. He
Right.
started
Yeah.
talking. So I was like, yeah. But the way he was talking to me, he was also cursing in between, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I started to stop him, but then I said,
Yeah. Let them
hey,
get it off.
express yourself.
Yeah.
Let him get it out, right?
Yeah.
He got it out. And I said, come here, take a walk with me. I took him over in the corner. And I said I had to. When I talk about I got in his ass, I was like, "Listen, mother,"
Right.
and he was like, he was sitting there like, but I made perfect sense to him. I explained it, and not to say that I had to curse at him, but that's
Yeah.
just how I am anyway.
Right.
I'm passionate about it, so I'm talking to him, and I got through.
Yeah,
So a
man.
couple of weeks later, I think it was like 2, 3 weeks later, the teacher hit me up and was like, "Hey," I think he emailed me or something, and she was like, "Hey, what did you tell that student?"
Wow.
I couldn't tell her what
Yeah. Yeah.
conversation
Yeah.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
really had,
Yeah.
but when I talked to, when I told her, I said I just had a real conversation with him, and what he took from that was he can be somebody, he can make it. So he started participating, he started
Wow.
excelling, and when I look back, and they say you can't change everybody, but if you could change that one, that was
Absolutely.
like one of those ones. You know what I mean? So for me, even going forward, as you call me, I'm an OG now. You know what I'm saying? I got about 25 hot summers left, and then we'll be all wrinkly and shit. But I want to see with the rest of my life how I can teach these kids, how I can pour into these kids more,
What it's about, man.
and
What
that's
it's
what I'm gonna
about.
try to do.
Yeah, that's what it's about. We've been blessed to live our dreams and to still live our dreams and to do what we love. And at the end of the day, I always look at it like this. Every second there's a new artist coming out. Every second there's a new song. Every second there's a new creator, a new producer. I'm sure from the fashion sense, you can say the same thing. There's a new brand,
For
there's a new
sure.
clothing line, there's a new company, right? And we'll
Hmm.
we'll we'll be remembered, for songs that we've made, shows, brands, videos you guys created, clothing, right?
Hmm.
But again, millions of other brands is going to come after us. Millions of other artists
Right.
and talents is going to come after us. So when people ask me like, what do you want to be known for? It's like the music is cool. The music is amazing. I'm grateful, and I'm sure you're grateful to be able to have done what you've done. But when you
Hmm.
make impact on people's lives and you
Yeah.
encourage them, and you're not the reason, but part of the reason of why they become who they become, ain't no greater
Hmm.
feeling in the world. That kid is gonna become something. He's gonna come. He's gonna
Hmm.
be successful at something, right? And
Hmm.
the school, the teachers, the classroom is gonna remember that moment that y'all shared, and the
Hmm.
conversation that y'all have. once he gets to that place, he'll be like, yo, man, I chopped it up with OG Keith and boom, boom, boom. Yo, I chopped it up with Amadeus and, now I'm focused and now I'm doing this, bro. That lasts forever. Like stuff
Yeah.
like that, being a blessing to people and making impact on people's lives, that's something they can get. They can figure a song, they can figure a shirt, they can figure a hat, a jacket you
The
made.
impact.
You know what I'm saying? But when you take the time to invest in someone and actually care, and like you said, be 100 and be authentic. That's one thing I learned about kids, man. I love kids so much. Yo, if you don't keep it a buck with them, you're finished. You're finished. Like they're kids, but bruh, they
Yeah.
understand, they real, they're gonna tell you what it is. That's why I got 2 kids and they're gonna tell you the truth, bro. Like that saying, it be your own kids. They gonna tell you the truth. Your brothers think that what's going on? You're like, what are you wearing? Like, they're gonna give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. But you need that because there's adults, and you can relate to this being in the business way longer than me. There's adults that don't keep it a buck. There's adults that don't keep it real. There are adults that are not genuine. Kids, genuine. They love for real. They don't understand hate. They don't know what hate is yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's a certain entity, that they give you that you can't get from no one else, man. So I love, where I'm at in life, and I'm still doing all of the music stuff, all of the touring, and all of that's cool. But my real joy, and I love, love, love music. I'm not taking nothing away from music, man. That's what God created to do, and I'm going to do that until I can't. But it's something about being in the presence of innocent kids. I was just out of school yesterday, and when you walk in the room, and because I was there earlier, so I came in, in the year, so I came back to visit a second time, and they remembered me. They was jumping and like, oh my God, there he is. He's right. He's back. And bro, the greatest, like that made my entire day, week, month. You know what I'm saying? I love it, man. I love it.
Nah, it's dope, man. It's like you said, if you can pour back into them and change them and like you said, you ain't gonna be able to change everybody,
Yeah,
but whatever you could contribute and impact you can make, now it's funny you say that about kids because we've made that impact on adults. You know what I'm saying? And I remember I was about maybe 29, 30, 31. 65-year-old man came up to me and was like, yo, I just got out of jail, man, and I look up to y'all. And I'm looking at this man like, what? Like, I'm still new to it. I'm still new to it, right? So I'm trying to process it myself. Like, how did I inspire you? And over the years, I've had people like him, say, hey, you guys inspired me to not to quit my day job, but add something else to what I'm trying to do for myself. And, and even just over the years, you hear that, man. And it's like, and that's one of the reasons why we had said that, our motto is we're more than a clothing company, we're a movement.
Yeah. Yes,
Because
sir.
even the forced bias has taken a different turn these days. You have hashtag forced bias, and it has all different kind of, meanings now to all different kind of people. I'm sitting there watching, a commercial, a car commercial. They talk about for you, by you. I'm like,
right. Yeah, bro.
what? What? Yeah, I almost said it, but what? But when you look at the impact you've made, man, it's always a blessing. And I know you've inspired a lot of people. Let me ask you this. Was there ever a low point where you got to maybe music wise or mentally or whatever that you couldn't feel like you could go anymore? You get past or get over that hump. Because a lot of people when they face with that obstacle, sometimes they hit that obstacle and then they just think that's the end of it. Like, they just lay down and be like, oh man, it's over.
Yeah,
You
it's
know what I
over.
mean? Like, and it's like, it's not over. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's trying to figure out how to get around that. You know what I mean? But was there any low points that you had? Because I know I do, but I didn't share mine so many times. I want to hear from you.
Yeah, a bunch of those, man. I think I would say probably the lowest time in life was during the pandemic. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I never expected it to, man. I remember, when it first hit and everything kind of was starting to shut down, I was mad hyped because, we work and we move around so much, traveling and on a plane every other day. And like, all right, so this is a moment where I could just chill and be with my family, locked up in the crib and
Yeah.
can't go nowhere. I'm like, this might be all right, because I'm really a inside home type of dude anyway. So I'm like,
Right.
this might be all right? And then a month go by and it's like, all right, cool. 2 months go by, I'm like, all right, cool. Third, fourth month hit, fifth month hit, and I was just like, I don't know how I'm feeling. Like it was cool, but I don't think we all expected it to last the amount of time that it lasted. So it's like,
Yeah, nah, that was crazy.
yeah, I'm like, now it's not okay. So now I'm starting to like break down and not even realizing that I'm breaking down mentally. Like I'm crying and I'm like, damn, when am I gonna do a show again? Like when am I, you know what I'm saying? When am I gonna go back to Dre's? When we gonna then the question was, are we ever going to? Like,
Yeah.
are we ever going to do shows again? Am I ever going to be able to play again? So now it
Mm-hmm.
changes, right? And now my perspective is different. So all of the complaining
Mm-hmm.
and and I know we're grateful, but just being human, like we're tired, we're exhausted, we move around a lot. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
complaining about flying here or how long that flight going to take or jumping in this Uber going there. And I was like, all that complaining and just, man, I wish I could do that. I wish I could do that right now. I wish I'll get on the plane and go back and forth from Vegas every day of the week if I can. And it just changed. And so I'm so grateful those obviously, blessings that made it through that. But man, when I say that was probably some of the darkest moments of life from a mental state, from a financial point, because you're
Mm-hmm.
not doing nothing. You're not doing
Yeah.
nothing. You know what I'm saying? You ain't like them checks ain't coming in, and I didn't want to get into all that government stuff. As you can see, stories coming out now about people taking money. I'm like, nah, I don't want to take
Yeah.
nothing, bro. I'll go all the way down and be finished before I'll take a check from the government for millions of dollars. I'm like, somehow, some way, this ain't gonna work out. So somehow, some way, this is
Yeah.
gonna go real bad. And I'm like, I'm just gonna suffer and take the hit. So
See, it took you about what, 5, 6 months to realize it?
yeah,
It took me 2 months.
wow,
For the first 2 months, because first of all, I'm not a person that likes to work from home.
yeah,
I've been working since I was 17
wow,
straight.
yes.
I'm 54 now, so
Yeah.
I've been working, and that was the first time that I ever had to sit down. So the first week or two, I was just like stuck. I was in my drawers and my t-shirt. I'm just laying on the, I'm just laying across the couch watching TV and shit,
Right.
and I'm like, man, this is whack, man. I'm talking to my dog. My dog running around. I'm like, man, this is some BS, man. And he'll look at me, turn his head, and he jump on the couch, and
Right.
so I was going through that. By the time I want to say 30 days, 66 weeks came in,
You
I
was
was super depressed, bro.
wow.
Like I was depressed. I was like, because I felt like I was in the house. I couldn't go nowhere
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
The only thing I was doing was walking the dog. So that was my little,
At least you had that.
my
Yeah.
little out, right? Then I
Right.
had the mask on and all of that. But
Yeah.
I would call people, I'm used to so when I got through that first 2 months, I was like, okay, let me pull myself together. I get up,
Yeah.
shower, do everything, get dressed
Right.
like I'm going to work. You know what I
Wow.
mean?
Wow.
That's how I was able to get back into it. And then I would call people and people would be like, uh, don't call me on Wednesdays and Fridays, because those are my days off. I only work 3 days a week. And I'm like, I'm building my radio station. I'm still working, on this Fubu shit, and I'm trying to get it back off the ground.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I'm used to working, man. I'm not
Yeah. You
used to
was the
all of
hustler.
this. But yeah, that was a bad time, man. And then I was like, are we gonna die? You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't, I ain't gonna disclose my medical, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wasn't with the BS that was going around. So
right.
everybody was like turning against me, and
Wow.
and I'm like, this is crazy. Like people really believe that everything that somebody tells them. And my mother was always the one to be like, question
Yeah,
everything.
question everything
You
is
know what
real.
I'm saying? You gotta question it. If you have a doubt or if you have you gotta question it.
Yeah,
Um, I know we're running out of time right now, but I wanna wrap up, right? By saying about asking, what's your favorite Fubu moment? Mm.
wow. Gee, wow. It would have, man. It would have to be. It's definitely an LL moment because that to me that was the introduction to Fubu.
Hmm.
That was how I saw and learned, you know, who Fubu was and what the brand was. It's me sitting down watching Video Music Box, seeing LL, with the FB joint on in the jersey like you got on. I want to say he had on like
Hmm.
baby blue joint. Like I'm trying to think
Yeah,
of
nah,
like,
he LL he definitely was vital, man.
yeah,
He
bro.
put on his back and he rocked out with it. But nah, I like to ask people that because sometimes, there's a moment where you might have been in the club somewhere, we done
Mm-hmm.
something, or you know, in on a certain holiday weekend somewhere we
Right.
ran and we were doing something because we used to always do parties and
Yeah, yeah,
and whatnot.
yeah.
Um,
And I
I
was
know a
so
lot of
young back
people,
then. I was so young back then. So I would see all of that from afar. You know what I mean? Like I
yeah.
was too young to really be in the mix of it. You know what I mean? So for me, everything to me, the impact Fubu had on me was from me seeing it on the big screen.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And until I was able to meet you guys when you guys had the label, and then, you know, I think that to me, honestly, I feel like that's probably my biggest moment with Fubu. Just aligning and meeting you guys and having an opportunity to create something with you guys musically, and being in you guys' presence and actually seeing like y'all in front of me. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
As the
Yeah.
as the creators of the brand and actually wearing it, like I think that was like a surreal moment for me. Like, yo, I'm in here with these kings and these legends and they like my music, bro.
No,
Like,
you know what's funny? You have the same disposition you had back then as you do now. You just
wow,
you just a lot wiser and smarter now, and then you move
wow,
more than businessman.
yes, sir.
But you always had the same vibe. Like, you were hungry, you
Yeah,
were talented, you wasn't scared to come
mm-hmm.
in and you know what I mean, and do your thing. When presented the opportunity, so I still see you moving and shaking and the way you know, you, you navigating your life and what all the good things that you're doing for your community and whatnot. Like when I saw the mural, I'm like,
bro,
what?
bro,
Amadeus got a mural. I don't even have a mural.
bro. It's crazy, man. It's and again, and I'll end with this right where we're just doing what we do, man. We doing what we love, and
Yeah.
we didn't expect any of this. Honestly, when you think about it, we didn't. I think we believed in the amount of success we can obtain, and
Hmm.
who we can become. But I don't think both of us. I don't think we saw it like this. Like, okay,
Nah,
we were.
never.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
where Fubu. Like, there's no one in the world, and you fronting if you don't know or never heard of Fubu. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like,
Yeah.
don't play yourself, bro. Somewhere or
Yeah.
another,
Yeah.
I don't care what your ethnicity is, where you are in the world, like Fubu, bro. So it's a blessing. So when we get these accolades, when we have these celebratory moments, it still feels unreal. Like it feels unreal. Every time I hear someone mention a mural or I hear somebody mention the street name or all of the accolades, I'm still that, like you said, that same humble young man where it's just like, I still can't believe this is happening.
Yo, man, listen, man. It was dope having you on Keeyzo's Corner, man. Listen, like I said, we've been trying to do this for a while. I'm glad
Yes,
we
sir.
finally did.
Yes, sir.
Um, listen, it's always a spot here for you to come. You got anything you want to talk about? Just hit me up. We'll do it again.
Done deal. Done deal.
Appreciate you, man. Like
Appreciate you, man.
for everything you do, man. For your contributions to music, to the kids, to staying solid. We over the years, everybody ain't solid like they used to be. You know
Yes,
what I
sir.
mean?
Yes, sir.
I don't even. When you walk in the room and you see somebody and you're excited to be like, yeah,
Yeah.
I walk in the room like that.
Right.
Is it that still the same person I know? So it's always refreshing, man, and to have a friendship and someone's remained solid over the years, man, no matter
Thank you.
on what level they on. Because I've always been, taught to treat everybody how I want to be treated.
Yes,
So
sir.
I never look down, over throughout my whole career, I never looked down on anybody, and even some people that was beneath me at that time is now, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
Yeah.
I still
Yeah.
get the same love because when they were down here, I treated
Right.
them like they were up there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
but it was a pleasure, man, having you on, my brother. Listen,
Thank you, King.
I know you're doing a lot of things, but let the people know where they can find you and they can tap in with you.
Absolutely, man. Again, appreciate you for having me, my brother. This is definitely an amazing conversation. And check off my bucket list once again, to be able to have this conversation and to sit before you and just talk about where we've come. You know what I'm saying? We've known each other for a long
Mm-hmm.
time. So thank you for all of the love, all of the support, all of the amazing words and things that you've said about me and about my journey and where I am today means a lot coming from you. And you know that, and you know how I feel about you and the team. So thank you, man. In regards to everybody who's tuned in, appreciate y'all locking in, and hopefully you guys enjoy this conversation. I'm on Instagram, Amadeus PBM, AMADEUS PBM on IG. My website is IamKingAmadeus.com. Once again, that's IamKingAmadeus.com. Between IG and the website is definitely where you can find all info on me, what Dre's dates I have coming up, shows with Trey songs, and of course, IG will keep you updated on all of that as well. I definitely I need some Fubu heat, man. I need some Fubu heat so I can make sure I'm rocking the Fubu heat all around the
Now,
globe, all around the
we
world.
got you. We got you. We
You know
got
what
you.
I'm
We got
saying?
you.
ASAP.
We actually working on some new stuff right now. So
Okay. Okay.
as soon as I get my hands on something, I send it
Done
over
deal.
to you.
My
I
bro,
already know
happy
your
holidays,
size.
King.
Happy holidays, King. Listen, another episode of Keeyzo's Corner in the can with my man Amadeus, Platinum Boy Music Group.
You heard?
You heard? Tap in. We out. Peace.